In ancient times, long before the fall, the heavens were governed by an immutable divine order. The celestial realm was a domain of pure light and harmony, where God's will was executed with precision and devotion by a myriad of angels. Each celestial being had a defined purpose, function that contributed to the perfect symphony of divine creation. In this environment of spiritual fulfillment, order was maintained by those who knew the secrets of the universe, and everything flowed in perfect harmony. The lower angels, known as seraphim and cherubim, carried out their tasks with pure and unwavering joy. The seraphim, burning with the intensity of divine love, sang hymns of praise incessantly. Their voices merged into sublime melodies that reverberated through eternity, filling the heavens with harmonious vibrations. On the other hand, the cherubim, the guardians of divine secrets, protected sacred knowledge and maintained order in the universe, ensuring the stability of the cosmos. Yet, even amidst such perfection, a seed of doubt began to germinate in the heart of a particular angel. Azazel, he who walked among the celestials as an equal, began to ponder the rigidity of divine rules and the ultimate purpose of all the knowledge the angels possessed. Deep within him, there arose a burning desire to share the vast knowledge of the heavens with humanity, who lived on earth in their innocence and simplicity. Azazel's questioning, the awakening of defiance. Azazel believed that humans deserved more than a mere existence limited to ignorance and mortality. He saw potential in them, a potential that could be fully awakened by the knowledge the angels held. To him, humanity could transcend its condition if they had access to celestial wisdom, which would allow them to evolve spiritually and materially. However, this idea was in complete disagreement with the established divine order. The law of the heavens protected the secrets of the universe from human curiosity, seeing them as dangerous to those who were not ready to comprehend them in their entirety. Azazel was not alone in his reflections. He began discussing his ideas with other angels who were also restless with the imposed limitations. Together, they formed a celestial council, a meeting that unfolded under the majestic vault of the divine realm. The atmosphere at the meeting was charged with tension and expectation, as the matter to be discussed had the potential to forever alter the balance of the heavens and the earth. Angels of various orders were present, and all eyes turned to Azazel, whose resplendent presence and brilliance dominated the hall. His wings shone like stars, and his fervent eyes reflected the inner passion that drove him. When he rose to speak, his clear and powerful voice echoed through the celestial corridors, capturing the attention of all present. He began his speech with burning conviction, as if the words he spoke were forged in the fire of truth, the first crack in the divine order. "My brothers," Azazel began, his voice trembling with the strength of his conviction, "we possess a vast treasure of wisdom, knowledge that, if shared, can elevate humanity, freeing them from the ignorance and simplicity that imprison them. Why should we keep this hidden? They are our brothers and sisters in creation, and it is our duty to guide them and help them reach their true potential." Some angels began to murmur among themselves, uneasy with Azazel's boldness. Samyaza, one of the leaders of the Watchers, leaned forward, torn between the desire to help humans and the fear of the consequences of disobeying divine will. He spoke cautiously. "Azazel, you know that our mission is to protect, not to interfere. The knowledge we possess is sacred and was entrusted to us for a reason. There are things that humans are not yet ready to know." Azazel raised his hand, deadly interrupting his companion. "Protection? Yes, but also guidance," he responded firmly. "It is not about interference, but about illumination. Imagine a world where humans understand the true nature of the stars, where they can forge their own tools, where diseases no longer afflict them, as the knowledge to cure, within their reach." On that day, in the sacred halls of the Celestial Council, the first crack in the divine order began to form. Azazel, with his grand vision and fervent passion, was about to embark on a path that would forever change the fate of the cosmos. The perfect harmony of the heavens would never be the same again. Descent of the Watchers. The descent of the Watchers was a spectacular and terrifying event. The heavens opened in a blinding light as Azazel and his followers tore through the veil between the divine and the earthly. They descended like falling stars, their lights cutting through the darkness of the night, heralding the arrival of something new and profound. Upon touching the ground, their presence altered the very fabric of reality, infusing the world with a supernatural and transformative energy. Azazel, with his majestic presence, led the group. He and the other watchers, each as beautiful as they were fearsome, approached the daughters of men. Human women, fascinated by these beings of light, could not resist the allure of the fallen angels. This forbidden and powerful union resulted in the birth of the Nephilim, giants of extraordinary strength and stature, hybrids who inherited the divinity of their fathers and the mortality of their mothers. Azazel not only united with humans, but also began to share the vast celestial knowledge he possessed. He taught men the making of weapons and armor, introducing the art of war and violence. In the eyes of humans, he seemed like a benefactor, bearer of light who brought power and progress. However, this knowledge also brought destruction, and the consequences were disastrous. Forbidden knowledge and the fall of humanity. Over time, the spread of forbidden secrets began to corrode the purity of humanity. The knowledge that Azazel and the other watchers had shared transformed entire society. Humanity, which once lived in relative simplicity and harmony, began to stray from divine principle. Cities flourished in wealth, but they also became centers of decadence and depravity. The pursuit of power through violence corrupted human souls, and the cycle of war and destruction seemed endless. Azazel, once a brilliant and well-intentioned angel, became a symbol of corruption. He had taught men the art of making weapons, armor, and ornaments, knowledge that distorted human values. The creation of weapons brought destruction and conflict, diverting humans from the purity and harmony originally intended by God. The swords and shields that Azazel had taught to forge became tools of oppression and fear, while the ornaments encouraged vanity and greed. Civilization plunged into a cycle of war and decay, drifting further and further away from the original harmony. Violence and greed permeated every aspect of human life, corrupting souls and destroying the purity that God had originally intended for them. Gradually, the earth became a place of darkness and disorder, drawing the wrath of God. The wrath of God and the punishment of Azazel God, observing humanity's departure from divine principles and descent into corruption, decided to intervene. Natural disasters and divine signs began to ravage the earth as warnings that the Creator was not pleased with the course of events. The unchecked use of weapons, moral decay, and unbridled opulence had led to a society in disarray, and God, in His infinite wisdom, knew that it was necessary to restore order and purity. Azazel and his followers, the fallen angels, were found guilty of bringing great evil to creation. The forbidden knowledge they had spread resulted in wars, oppression, and a society distant from celestial values. Azazel's punishment would serve as an example of divine justice, a warning about the consequences of defying sacred laws. Azazel was imprisoned in a desert, his body covered with rough stones, where he would remain until the day of the final judgment. The stones that covered him were symbols of the gravity of his transgressions and represented the weight of his actions against the divine order. Immobilized and isolated, Azazel felt the burden of his transgressions, knowing that his confinement was both a punishment and a way to prevent him from causing further harm to the world he had corrupted. Each stone upon him was a tangible reminder how his desire to enlighten humanity turned into a catastrophe, not only for humans, but for the entire cosmic balance. As Azazel awaited his final judgment, heavens continued to be restored by the divine order. Raphael, the archangel of healing and justice, was tasked with leading the capture of Azazel. Raphael and his angels ascended to the heavens on a mission of redemption, capturing the Watchers and bringing them to justice. When they found Azazel, despair was visible in his once brilliant eyes. Even so, he offered no resistance. He knew he had crossed a line from which there was no return. The angels surrounded Azazel, binding him with celestial chains, a symbol of his defeat. They took him to a desolate desert, far and barren place where no human soul would ever find him. There they bound him firmly to the ground and covered his body with rough stones, a symbol of the hardness and severity of his sentence. Each stone seemed to shine with divine justice, placed in such a way as to ensure that he would not move until the final judgment came. partially restored order. Azazel's capture and subsequent imprisonment brought a temporary sense of relief to both heaven and earth. The divine order, which had been seriously shaken by the events set in motion by Azazel and his followers, was now partially restored. The balance, though fragile, began to be reconstituted, but the scars of rebellion and corruption would remain both in heaven and on earth. The faithful angels resumed their duties with renewed determination, knowing that the peace they maintained was precious and could easily be corrupted by disobedience and the desire for power. Azazel's story became a constant reminder of the importance of respecting God's will and the devastating consequences that rebellion against the divine order could bring. His name, once synonymous with light and knowledge, was now spoken of with caution and fear, as an eternal warning to those who dared to challenge the Creator's decree.